There's balance and moderation for everything to be healthy. And right now, we do not engage with social media healthily. There's so much to do. It's funny, when I first stopped being on social media, people would ask me, what do you do with your time then? Why are we at that point? Why are we at that point, love? That shouldn't be what you ask me. You have to invest in knowing who you are in an authentic way. What's good, you guys? Welcome back to my channel. I am Ariana Elise, and this is Thrive with Ariana. On January 1st, 2024, I made the decision to delete all of my social media, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube at the time, GroupMe, like I deleted everything. And it has been quite the journey since then. I realized I needed to reconnect to myself, my purpose, my faith, and overall reground myself in my identity. So today I'll be breaking down what led me to that decision, the changes I've noticed since making this decision, and some of the biggest lessons that I've learned along the way. One reason I chose to delete social media was presence. I don't know about y'all, but I feel like at a certain point I felt more present in the lives of other people than I did in my own life. And that to me was very unhealthy, and it made it very difficult for me to even get an idea of where I had been and where I was going. And I knew this was not sustainable. Another thing was authenticity. I noticed I was forming what they call a downloaded personality. So I was getting to the point where I no longer identify with the things that were true to me, but I identify more so with what trends or my timeline told me was the aesthetic of the time. I really needed to strip away all of those layers of downloaded personalities to get to the core and root of my own character and who I wanted to be in the future. Another big reason why I stepped away was because of my faith. In 2023, I rededicated my life to Christ, and my whole entire walk with Christ completely changed. So I knew that this year I wanted to continue to develop that and take time to intentionally spend this year with God and God solely, which is interesting because I'm literally on this platform now making videos for y'all after committing my year to Christ, but I've still committed that year to Christ. It's just in doing that, I've gotten bolder and more comfortable and more confident in what I believe He can use my life, my story, my testimony, and calling and purpose. That was a lot of ands. But what He can use that and to empower others. Also, the mental and emotional benefits. So as a psychology scholar at FAMU, and honestly probably in any program at this point, social media is a topic that is brought up, a topic that is researched, because the reality is our social climate looks completely different now with social media than it did when no social media existed. I think that I find my particular generation very, very interesting because we had time that we can remember where there was no social media, and then we have the fun parts of social media where social media was literally just posting what you ate that night, or to be honest, TBHs in the DMs, or just, it was so innocent and it was so pure. And now I feel like social media is just used very differently. I don't even feel like it. Research shows that social media is used very differently. It influences us very differently, and there are some negative effects to it. Majority of people who are on social media are addicted to social media. It's the reality that we spend too much time scrolling and not enough time in the present moment. I began to recognize last year that all I have is now, this present moment. I don't have the past anymore, that's gone, and I don't have the future yet. So if I'm not able to value the now, I'm not valuing what I actually have. I'm not even taking advantage of what I'm actually offered when I wake up and when I take this breath. So I had to take time away because I didn't even know how to value the now. I found myself so caught up in what I have done in the past, or what I need or want or dream for the future. And sometimes that can get very, very dangerous for your mental well-being. Another thing that stopped enthusing me last year was surface level connections. I understand that surface level connections are beneficial for certain things. I can agree to that, but me personally, I don't value surface level connections enough to spend the majority of my time maintaining or creating a bunch of friendships. What is fulfilling to me is having a few deep and meaningful connections. I began to notice this just because when I started to change mindsets and behaviors and patterns, I noticed that my desire to be in certain spaces and around certain people just plummeted. I had honestly no interest in small talk. I want to know the real, and I want to be able to tell you the real, and I want it to be something that is beneficial for the both of us. And honestly, that is part of why I was like, I want to create a place and platform and space where I can talk about the things that are real and true to me, and where I can be transparent and open and honest, because the reality is a lot of us don't know how to get out of that small talk and disingenuous interactions, because that's just how the social climate is nowadays. Like, that's the type of stuff I like to engage in. I like intellectual conversation. I like to be fully stimulated when I'm discussing something. I want you to be real with me. When I ask you how you are, I don't want you to just tell me good. I want you to tell me for real. I want to be able to tell you for real. And it's like, if I'm always interacting with people who I have surface level connections with, I can't expect them to want to invest in connecting with me the way that I feel I need overall. I mean, I don't disagree. Some surface level connections are necessary and good for certain things, like networking. You probably aren't going to know a professional who you've done informational interviews with deepest, darkest secret. I'm not mad at that, but overall, I felt like I had more surface level connections than genuine friendships, and that scared me. That really scared me, because community is very, very important, and community will literally save your life. I was like, let me take some time away from the comments and the DMs to maintain friendships, and actually step away and see who I feel led to reach out to when I'm not looking on my timeline, and who actually thinks of me and reaches back out to me when I'm not on anyone's timeline. And it's been very humbling, not gonna lie. It's been very, very humbling, but it's also been refreshing to know that when someone does reach out to me and thinks of me, it's in the most genuine way. More than likely, this is someone who I should invest in getting to know more if I don't know them well enough, or that I should keep on my mind and in my prayers. That's just me though. I do want to mention lifestyle, an authentic lifestyle. I think stepping away from social media really allowed me to sit here and ask myself, who am I when no one is watching? What do I value when no one has a say-so? What do I genuinely enjoy? Asking myself all those questions without the distraction and without the influence of others has really tailored my thought processes and my goals to stuff that is so genuine to me. And I don't have to question if it's what I really want anymore, because I know that I've taken the time to genuinely reflect and get to know myself. I needed to get to know myself. I didn't recognize myself at a certain point. I really didn't. I was like, who is this girl that I talk to every day, or that I live with every day and not talk to? I mean, I talk to myself. I don't know if that's crazy. I be talking to myself sometimes. You should talk to yourself. If you don't have an inner voice, it's going to be very hard to self-reflect. But anyway, that's a whole other topic. We're not going to get into that today. But I did not really know what I wanted. I didn't know if I was passionate about fitness for me, or because I see fitness influenced on my timeline all the time. I really wanted to discern better what I really wanted. And I think taking this time away really showed me what I was passionate about, what I was good at, and what I genuinely enjoy. And it also absolved me of people's opinions when it comes to things that make me happy. Relationships, hobbies, music, habits. I'm learning that, okay, these are things that are going to be core and central to who I am, as long as I continue to invest in the habit. And that's honestly with any habit. Overall, I just want us to be free. I think there's educational value in the long form content, and even there is educational value in short form content in some spaces. But when I think about Instagram or TikTok or Twitter, like, I think those spaces are just more so for trends. But I think that YouTube is a lot more tailored to educational purposes. Same for LinkedIn. And then Facebook is essentially just to catch up with family for me. And those are the only platforms that I'm actually on right now. And I still feel like I'm very grounded in reality. I didn't really feel like I was before. I feel like I did a lot of comparing myself to other people. On LinkedIn, you're there to establish your voice and your brand. So you better focus on you and not be comparing yourself to other people, because if you're using it the right way, you can really establish your brand and your voice. And that can be really beneficial in the long run. And YouTube, obviously, you don't really have a timeline. So that helps already. And then you also get to engage with a whole community of people who watch you solely. So I could just see that being more authentic as well than using a trending sound to create some TikTok. You know what I'm saying? I want to be able to express to the people that I love the ways that God is working in my life and my mindsets and my behaviors and patterns and things like that, and encourage them and empower them to take these areas of life seriously as well, because wellness is not something that's just for one generation. Wellness is not something that's just for one gender or sex. Wellness is for everyone, and wellness is wealth. And I want everybody around me to have wealth. So that is why I'm on the platforms I'm on. So if you've been thinking about unplugging, I'm gonna be the one to tell you, go do it. Get to know yourself, forgive yourself, address those things that you're not addressing and those voids you're filling with scrolling doomlessly. Get real dopamine. Go for a run, go for a walk, laugh with your family, play games with people, go into your room and leave your phone in your bag and see how you experience that. And it's gonna be hard at first. I really did struggle. I would itch to scroll because the people around me would scroll. We don't talk anymore when we go places. We scroll. So I would be sitting there literally just looking around. But you know what? Even sitting there and looking around, I started to learn more about the world around me and get to know myself more and dissect my inner thoughts. Still valuable. It's still valuable. And eventually it became, now I can hold a conversation better. Now my attention span is longer. Now I'm more confident. Now I want to go after those things I always said I wanted to do, but I was always scared because I felt like I wasn't good enough. You have to invest in knowing who you are in an authentic way. If you're always trying to meet the standard of whoever you see on your timeline, whether that's a peer, an influencer, a professional, any of it, set your own standards. Know your beliefs, know your values, and I promise your confidence will skyrocket. And not even in a cocky way, but you'll be comfortable with yourself. So you won't have to look for comfortability in material things or in external validation. You won't have to look for it because you'll be comfortable in your own skin. Start to monitor your thoughts as you scroll. Start to monitor your thoughts. Are they pure? Are they empowering? Are they damaging to you or others? There's a lot of stuff going on in the world. You should be informed. Don't get me wrong, you should be informed. But there's balance and moderation for everything to be healthy. And right now, we do not engage with social media healthily. Well, that's all for me today, folks. I feel like I kind of went in, but I'm very passionate about this, and I really do feel like figuring out what works for me in my mental health in this capacity of social media has done numbers for my productivity, my well-being, my confidence, my faith. If you feel stuck, this could be one of your keys to success. Can't guarantee it, but I highly recommend you at least try it and just give it 90 days. And instead of doing social media, actually spend your time doing something that is productive and that aligns with your long-term goals. Don't go off social media and then watch shows for the same amount of time you were on social media. Oh, that ruins the point. That defeats the purpose. There's so much to do. It's funny, when I first stopped being on social media, people would ask me, what do you do with your time then? Why are we at that point? Why are we at that point, love? That shouldn't be what you asked me. But I get it, because like literally my screen time was at 10 hours a day. Thank you all for tuning in to my video. I really do appreciate it. I hope that something that I said in this video cued you to try something new, to reflect on how social media has impacted your life up until this point, and maybe even encourage you to take a step back, unplug, and get to know yourself so that your identity can come to fruition. If you found this helpful, insightful, please like, comment, and subscribe, because we're just getting started here. This journey is literally on the very beginning stretch, and I would love for you to join us early. This is going to develop into something so beautiful, and I would love to see you thrive with us. I hope to see you on the next video. Thank you so much for joining me. Have a great day. Bye.